Hey guys, we promised a lift kit install vid and we're making some progress on that today. So firstly, we haven't actually got the kit on us, but this is all the prep work that, I reckon based on the install vids I've watched so far, the prep work that I reckon is going to be sort of necessary to make the job easier on the day. So first of all, what we're going to do, not that this has anything to do with the lift, but we're going to get rid of these dicky little side steps. So these are the stock ones that come from factory, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big fan of them. Eventually I'll get some rock sliders or rock bars in there, but yeah, once we got rid of them, it's going to lift the car up even more on the sides, so she's going to have that, that extra street appeal, which is, what we love at the Wanderers. So that's first part today. Secondly, I watched a video, TJ Jack, recently doing a lift on their Ranger, one of his mates' Rangers. And a little hack, which I'm not going to steal their thunder, but I thought it was pretty clever, to lift your car up 4 inches for free off stock without really having to do anything. See this little guard on the front? So all that is just like a little plastic line-up protector. I don't even know, it's just a load of shit, to be honest. So we're going to remove that, and funnily enough, that measures exactly 4 inches. So we're going to fuck that off. And I suppose lastly for today, just in terms of prep work, we're just going to lubricate everything. So we got some anti-seize spray, and just in here were all the CVs and springs and coils and I don't know, control arms, bits and pieces that we're going to have to muck around with and take off. We're going to lubricate any of those bolts, because a lot of these other videos that I've watched for tips and ideas, they've had a lot of trouble trying to take off these bolts. So I figure the earlier I can get onto it and lubricate them up and, give himself best chance to loosen up, the easier it's going to be for me once the lift kit comes in, and it's going to make my job a hell of a lot easier on the day. So that's what we're all about: prepping, planning, getting things sorted. Let's get into it. There we have it. She looks like a different car. Oh, that's so much neater and higher. Yes. Yes. Side step number 2. You beauty. By the way, if anyone needs a brand new set of Wild Track side steps, hit me up in the comments. Well, hello. We've got the 2 side steps off. Last step, take this little fucking stupid thing off. Let's go. Well, there you have it. As easy as that. Now time to spray down these bolts. Hey legends, we're up nice and early this morning. The sun still hasn't surfaced, so it's a bit cooler now, which is spot on, exactly what we want. It's just been very humid and muggy up in Darwin where I am at the minute, so that's why we're up a bit earlier to try and get this lift sorted. So this first real step, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I don't have the gear to be able to set up the coils onto the struts, the front struts. So basically I've got to remove the original struts this morning, and then we're gonna take off the mounting plate on the top of the coil that they so I'm going to take that off, and then where I'm getting the suspension done over at LNS, the boys over there are going to use that top plate to pre-assemble the coil and the strut for the front end, and then yeah, they're going to get that sorted for me. So phase one today is get the wild track, which is in the backdrop there, get her on the axle stands, sit the front up, take the first couple of wheels off, and get rid of these struts. We've got the jack mounted under the diff here, so we pretty much just want to lower that. We just have to be very careful that we don't go too far and extend this, because you don't want that to disassociate at that joint on the CV, either the internal or the one in the middle there. So as you can see, we've got our ABS and brake lines loosened off, just so they don't stretch when we go to put the new strut in. We've got the upper sway bar taken off. That's where that ball joint is there, that's been moved. So yeah, we've finally been able to get rid of that bolt just down the bottom there. This big bastard took all that time to crack, but a bit of lever action got her sorted. So we pretty much just have to remove this strut now. So after loosening these, the bolt in here and the other bolt over there for this bottom sway bar, we just got to drop that a bit lower, then we can get this out, and then we'll be sorted. Oh, finally we got the baby out. Oh, yes, one down, one to go. Yes, they're out. We're good to go. Morning guys, it's an absolute cracking day for it. You can see down there in the back, the kit has finally arrived, so we'll give you a closer look at it. So she's a bit wet, you got a bit of rain overnight. So you got your two rear shock absorbers in the back there, some bushes for your leaf springs. So we've got two leaf springs there, and this is what we've been waiting for, two shocking coils for the front. So we got a massive day ahead. We're gonna take you guys along for the ride and show you how to put this bad boy in. Stay with me. She's ready to go. Happy days. So I managed to get this first one in here. We just had to drop this bottom caster arm down to wedge it in. Got the top in first and then just tapped in the bottom there. So it's just a matter of putting all the bolts back in place, getting this all repositioned, set up, rejoining that hinge point, and then we move on to the other side. Not to forget these ABS brake lines and bits and pieces there. So the next little step on the list is these sway bar links. So where are they? Where did I just put that? Here's one here. So that's all it is. I don't think it's extremely important, but the reason behind these is, from what I've been explained, when the springs max out, if you're four-wheel driving, doing some heavy off-road sort of work, once it drops, it can actually hit that link on the original ones because of the 3-inch extension, and apparently it just makes a massive bang, and the four-wheel drive installers and manufacturers and people that put these kits in had people coming back to them all the time complaining, saying there's something wrong with the lift, and this was a reason for it. So it's not extremely important, it won't really do any damage, but at least if you put these sway bar extenders on, it'll sort that problem out. So I've just had a quick look then. From my understanding, you just got to remove this little nut here, and that's it there. So this thing that drops in along here, so remove a nut either side and should just be able to slide her on. Alright, I explained that to be so much easier than it actually was, but because of these little joints here, the bolt just keeps spinning, so you have to get a set of multi-grips in on that part there and try and lock it in while you're undoing the bolt, which proves to be a lot more difficult than you would think, but first one's off. Righto, that looks like the front's done. So I'll just give you a quick little look, do a quick walk around. So we've rejoined this elbow, the brake lines and the ABS are both fixed up again. You can see there's not a whole heap of slack on these, so that's why we had to take it off before when this was removed, just so you don't stretch it. The last thing you want is that snapping off or leaking or pinching or anything like that. Yeah, so we've tightened back up these caster arms, got everything tensioned up again. It's always good just to go back through and just make sure you lock off everything. I've used a big breaker bar to tighten everything up. So yeah, the last thing you want is, you know, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, for this shit to come loose and fucking wheel falls off or something. So it's always good to double check everything. So yeah, we got those sway bar links in that I spoke about earlier. So they just stop this from, I'm assuming it's from banging into this when you're doing some heavy off-roading and it maxes out. So one more thing to add, so you see the front of the rig, she's just stock, so everything is completely stock at the minute. Obviously now it's modified, but these are adjustable front shocks, which is awesome. So these little purple thread lock nuts at the bottom, they just lock it in at that certain height. So that's sitting at 3 inches right now, and these are actually go up to 4 inches. So they're 4 inches adjustable, but you really don't. I've been recommended pretty heavily to keep it at 3, because any higher you go, the more strain it puts on everything. And you know, you have to get things mechanically engineered to match and mix and all the rest of it. Got the apprentice on the job. Bring it over.
Let's go.
Wrong way.
Sorry. Not a good start. First day on the
Beautiful.
tools.
First day on the tools. I don't know.
You beauty.
Right, we've got the wheels back on the ground. Just got the stockies on. That's how she's sitting. I'll give you a quick run around. So all the front's sorted, onto the back. So we'll come around here. Plan of attack is, we've got the axle stands removed from the front now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the jack under the rear diff, the front of the rear diff, and just sit that up a bit. And then we can take off the brackets for the leaf springs and the struts, and then we'll jack up the back of the car here somewhere, slide those axle stands under, and then it should just be as simple as replacing the old leaves with the new ones and put the new struts in. So we'll take you along with us. The first one's off. We've just got to take off the other side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to jack the back up, sit the axle stands under to support the back of the rig, and then we're going to drop this where this diff's jacked up. We're going to drop that so this whole thing will lower. This diff here will lower. And then we'll be able to disconnect the leaf springs where they're fixed to the chassis, and then replace them and bring it back up. So we'll see how we go. guys, it's been a massive day so far. We're still kicking, we're still going. So what have we got? 2 struts on the back to put back on. We've just put both the new leafies in, so they've both been fitted, thank God. That was a interesting job. Yeah, put both the struts back on, the U-bolts and clamps and bolts and nuts and bits and pieces for those springs. Get the diff lifted back up, clamp that all together, sort it out, and then we're right to get the tyres on tomorrow. So very excited for that. Well guys, the lift's finally complete. Just got the big juicy tyres on. Mate, I cannot believe this is even the same car. I'm absolutely blown away. Here we go. Here's a big reveal.